In today's video, I'm going to show you how to photograph models at 3 different levels. Beginner, where we would just be learning the basics, kind of how to light the face, using the stuff around you because maybe you don't have the biggest budget. Then we're going to go into intermediate, where we can involve a little bit more about lighting, how to shape light, and maybe using a little bit of props. And for a professional level, we will be bringing in strobe lights, a better lens, a better camera, to just show you how much you can really get out of a photograph if you know your lighting and you know how to pose. So let's build some fire for your portfolio today. All right, so let's start off with beginners, right? With things we have around the house. So for example, in this case, we're gonna be using an iPhone or just any phone you have. A window with light is preferable just because you get a lot of natural light without having to deal with the elements. A plain wall or just any plain background really. And if you wanna get fancy here, you can use a chair, a stool, or maybe just a reflector to bounce some light into your model. Now, when photographing a model, it's important to know what kind of photography you're doing. Are you gonna be doing a lifestyle photo shoot where it's more candid, stuff that you see on Instagram? Or is this something supposed to be a little more professional to be used for their books, aka their portfolio? In this case, we're gonna go for a lifestyle just because it is much easier to shoot. You don't really need to post too hard. It feels more free-flowing. And at the end of the day, that's what we want because this is beginner level. All right, perfect. Now, it is really important to get all the angles here. Sometimes when it comes to portraits, in order to make them seem a little bit grander than they really are, I like to get a little low, which just makes for making the subject look a lot cooler. We're gonna also get some close-ups here. Perfect. Try not to use the 0.5 because otherwise your subject's face will look like it is very weirdly shaped. All right, let's have you do maybe some stuff with your hands. So that you can, maybe touch your hair, stuff like that. Perfect. Now, I know this does look a little bit silly, but you know, everybody starts somewhere. When I first started taking photos, I remember I was an iPhone photographer, and that's really what got me excited to start my photography journey. So don't ever judge yourself for not having maybe the nicest gear. It's all about just being able to create moments and just, you know, post your model and all of that stuff. All right, so one of the most important things about photography is lighting and knowing where to place your subject. So as you can see, we have big windows today. So what I want to do is, instead of placing our subject looking straight at us so that the light is only hitting like this, we want to put them at like a 45-degree angle. So as soon as that adjustment is made, you get a lot more light on her face and the shadows just fall off naturally. Now, it is always good to have a model, obviously, that has some texture in their hair or on their skin. So for example, Trinae has a lot of freckles, which just naturally makes the image pop off a little more than normally would. Now let's try to bring in the stool. So we're gonna have her sit and try to do a couple more full body images. Now, along with the stool, you can also add a little bit more to your images by using a bounce. A bounce is just anything that's white that will bounce light onto your model. The way you want to do it is probably place it in an area that's in the shadows. That way the light hits the bounce hits the face. It just makes for a portrait to feel a lot more full. And if you don't have anybody to help you, you can just hold it like this while you're taking your photos. So now, another huge thing about shooting portraits is to not only think about light, but think about your model. The model shouldn't just be strictly down or strictly like this. There's a lot of movements that can be done that just add 3-dimensionality to your photo, whether it's placing their hand by their face or just, you know, on their hips. There's a lot of things to work with here. So now, if you don't have anybody to help you, a tripod is your best friend. So what you can do here is set up your phone here, and you can actually put it on a timer and move the bounce yourself to get images that look a little like this. All right, so now let's get a little bit more advanced. We're gonna be using a camera, a lens, preferably anywhere between a 35 and a 50 millimeter. That's just my preference, but you can really use any lens you'd like. We're gonna also use an LED light towards the end of this section just to show you the difference instead of a bounce, but you can also use a reflector or whatever you have that's gonna bounce light onto your model. Another quick tip that I have for you is that I like to kind of shape the models as they're working. I don't like to be too overly directive when I'm talking to them. So I like to let them do a little bit of their own thing. But when they do something that I like, I'll just say, hey, can you stop there for a second? Or go back to that pose. You know, it's just small increments of movements that can really change the way that your photo is perceived. Alright, now one of the biggest tips that I can give you is to have a C-stand or a tripod, just something that can be almost your assistant when you're by yourself. In this case, we're going to use it for a bounce here. We got the gold side of a bounce. This is just going to give us a little bit more of a yellowish highlight to the area that's a little shadowy. And we're just going to place this, and it's just going to add a little bit of oomph to your photo, you know? One of the first things that I learned when I was starting photography was that the eye is the first thing that people catch in portraits. So it is very important to have the eye correctly exposed, which is something you don't hear a lot. But a really quick tip for that is to get something that's called the catch light. So basically in a window, or even in these examples of the photos that I'm showing you here, you can see that little sparkle of light in the model's eyes. You want to see that in pretty much all of your portraits. That's usually a sign that you took a well-lit portrait. It is also very important to switch up how you're shooting your photo. So before we had Trinae sitting, we're gonna move the chair, and we're also gonna be changing the background, because the background actually changes how the whole photo is perceived really. Before, I think the pink gave it a little bit of a softish kind of feel, where here I feel like her face and her outfit is just more striking, and it's really like right to the point, you know? Now, another huge thing is to move around. The model doesn't have to be doing all the work. You can also come down, change the angles up, and just make sure that you're always doing something that's a little bit different, just to add different kind of photos to your set. Another thing that I'm a huge fan of is actually context. A lot of people, specifically photographers, are really conscious about showing outside of the borders of their backdrop. But I'm a huge fan of maybe showing a little bit of what's outside of the blue, just to show context of where the image is being taken. It feels more natural, feels more candid, and to an extent, it almost feels more editorial. Getting a variety of shots is also vital. You don't want to just take the waist up images that you see all the time. You want to kind of change it up in order to have a variety of shots. So you want to have a close-up, a medium shot, a super wide, maybe something showing the whole scene. And you also don't want to just shoot portrait. Portraits don't have to just be portrait oriented. They can also be landscape. I am guilty sometimes of only shooting portrait side, but you know, feel free to move around, change your angles, change everything. Now, as I mentioned before, we're going to be using a little bit of a LED light here. Now, this is not an expensive one. And all this does is just, instead of having the bounce, this adds a real actual light here. And the cool thing about them is that you can change the color. So instead of having it be maybe yellow, you can go blue, or you can go yellow, or you can have both lights going on at the same time. All right, so now let's step it up to the pro levels. That's right, we're gonna use everything we learn in beginner and intermediate to make sure that the photos we take here are not only stunning, but they are purposeful. We're gonna be still talking about shaping light, posing our model, and changing the angles as we take photos. But this time we're gonna be using strobe lights, modifiers, B-flats, a backdrop, and obviously a change of clothes. So as I mentioned before, we're being purposeful with our lighting. We're no longer held down by what the sun wants to do, if there's clouds in front of it, none of that. So we're actually working with strobe lights. Today we have two Pro Photo lights here. We have a big one that's gonna be acting as her key light, basically putting most of the lighting on Trinae's right side of her face. And then we're gonna be using a smaller Pro Photo for the side here, just adding a little bit of detail. This is gonna be less power. Now, the reason we wanna do that is to make sure that both Trinae and the background is evenly lit, and we can get a photo that looks a little bit like this. As you can see, I don't quite like how the background is all just one color. So we can actually go back to this. We can use modifiers like a V-flat in order to really cut the light and make something that feels more powerful. What this is gonna do is actually cut the light from this and not hit the backdrop, giving us a nice ombre on the back where it goes from dark all the way to the green color of the backdrop. This is where portrait photography becomes more about direction and storytelling instead of just taking a pretty photo. So in this case here, we're using the Pro Photo to create dimension. We want to actually tell a story here. So we're going to go for something moody. We have the Pro Photo here at a 45-degree angle facing our model. This is going to brighten up this side of her face, while we have the V-flat on the other side that instead of bouncing light like the white bounce that we had before, it's actually going to take light out of her subject's face, making for a really nice contrasty, almost half and half effect. Let me show you how that looks. Throughout this whole video, I've been sort of giving you guidelines, but they're not necessarily rules. These are not things that you have to follow, because at the end of the day, in order to get a really fantastic photo, sometimes you have to sort of break the rules, right? And try new things. So I really wanted to try out something different where instead of lighting our model straight on, we just have a light on top and a light from a little bit behind to see what kind of shaping of the light we can do. My thinking is that this is gonna give a little bit of rim light to her hair, and this is just gonna brighten up a little bit of this side of her face. So let's just test it out, because at the end of the day, that's what we love doing in photography, and that's why we are in this format. Now, the best thing about strobe lights is that you're not beholden to the sun. You have full control, which means that even in this place where it looks like you wouldn't be able to get a super dramatic, almost sportsy feeling photo, if you just switch the lights around, you could get something that looks really cinematic, really profound, and you can actually get some incredible shots with just 2 lights. So another really important tip that I have for you is to always focus on the nearest eye to the lens. Now, the reason for this is because when somebody looks at an image, scientifically speaking, everybody always looks at the eyes. And if your eye is not in focus, you also kind of lose the sense of the image. You kind of lose the subject. The priority doesn't become their eye. Maybe their nose is in focus, or their cheek, or their ear. So make sure that that eye is in focus. Obviously, this is not the most professional setup. This is kind of like professional 101. But I guess the whole theme of this video has been the best light is the type that you have available to you. Whether that's natural lighting or artificial, it's all about getting out there, experimenting, learning how to pose your model, learning about textures on clothing, juxtaposition, color theory. All of these things are the most important when it comes to photography. Doesn't matter if you have an iPhone, a cheap DSLR, or something that's $7,000. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Juan Pablo, and we'll catch you next time.